I don't even care. You can call me a hater. This barely counts as a movie. Folks, I was today years old when I learned that illustrious douche tuber slash scam artist Logan Paul also has a little bit of a movie career. And seeing how YouTube as a platform has been so good to us over the years and even better to him, I figured this Friday we'll do one for the kids and take a look at what the f happened to Logan Paul. So let's turn it over to our expert, Taylor James Johnson, and get into it.
YouTuber, boxer, pro wrestler, a careless, offensive man-child who treats the world like his own personal playground. But enough about me, let's talk about Logan Paul. A jack of all trades, or as his haters call him, a jerk of all trades. Love him or loathe him, he has toyed with just about every idea that his brain-damaged brain could think of, excelling in just about all of them. Sure, he's had a handful of lawsuits and controversies to cast a dark shadow over his accomplishments, but the dude gets shit done. He accomplishes his goals and does what he sets out to do, which is more than most people on the planet. And yeah, he just doesn't give a fuck who he offends or what he says, which nowadays is refreshing, but still so very offensive. So yeah, I don't really like him or hate him, but I kinda respect him. But can 80 million followers across all platforms be wrong? Yes, totally. 80 million people can totally be wrong. But the real question is Logan Paul wrong for doing the things he has done to succeed? Is he just a lucky, wild child bad boy who happens to be in the right place at the right time? Or is he a marketing genius, an artist, an athlete, who completely transformed how we look at entertainment? I don't know, that's why I'm asking you. I honestly thought we were doing a video on Jake Paul, but yeah, it turns out it's Logan Paul, same thing. So yeah, what the fuck happened to Logan Paul? But to truly understand what the fuck happened to Logan Paul, we must begin at the beginning, and the beginning began when he was born on his birthday, 1995, jeez, Ohio. And of course, the good Lord brought him into this world on April Fool's Day. Because God has a sense of humor, I guess. And being born in 1995 puts him on the cusp of Generation Z, everybody's favorite generation, the YouTube generation who found out that you can make a name and a buck by uploading the most ridiculous shite ever put on video and gaining what the kids call clout. To give a little perspective, Mr. Paul dropped out of college, where he was studying industrial engineering. He realized that he just wanted to make internet videos, so he decided to take some acting classes, and the guy even studied with the Groundlings and Upright Citizens Brigade. First was the short-form Vine, then some accounts on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. Whatever there was, Logan Paul wanted a piece. And he got it, with his videos hitting upwards of 300 million views, with titles like The Fall of Jake Paul, Santa Diss Track, and So Sorry. But yes, why did Logan Paul upload a video called So Sorry? Well, on New Year's Eve of 2017, Logan Paul uploaded a video from a place known as the Sea of Trees, and more tragically known as the Suicide Forest. While going through this Japanese forest, Mr. Paul, who was wearing a stupid fucking aliens hat from Toy Story, stumbles upon a dead body, a victim of suicide. And I guess he was kind of just, caught up in the, for lack of a better word, excitement, that he didn't really realize how tragic and horrible the situation was and how extremely disrespectful he was being to this human being, and kind of turned the whole thing into a joke, which who knows may have just been a defense mechanism because he couldn't deal with the seriousness of this, but it's just not a good look. They probably thought they were just gonna go into the woods and make a funny little ghost hunting video, but no, shit gets real. So yeah, 6 million views later, Paul was apologizing, sincerely or not, and that video itself got 10 times the views. But were his followers actually interested in an apology? Or did they just want to see what this dude was gonna do next? Was he pushing the boundaries of making art on the internet, or was he pushing the boundaries of human decency? Or maybe a little of both. Many people viewed this as the ultimate a-hole move that was just short of a thing that an internet celebrity could get away with. Around the same time, Logan Paul was also trying to build up his acting career, so he did an episode of Law & Order SVU, in season 16, and movies like The Thinning, a conspiracy theory sci-fi flick made for YouTube Red, as well as a pair of 2017 movies that I've never heard of called Can't Take It Back and Where's the Money. But apparently the whole Suicide Forest thing kind of put a temporary halt on those plans. 3 movies he had in the pipeline were postponed, including a sequel to The Thinning and a remake of the 1983 Valley Girl movie, in which Paul had a supporting role. But I think that movie eventually came out in 2020. But the biggest came with 2019's Airplane Mode, a movie co-written by Paul that would gather a tarmac full of internet celebrities and clout chasers. This would also see a short-lived shelving and a lawsuit, with the production company Planeless Pictures hitting Paul with a $3 million suit that claimed that he had purposely tanked the movie, losing out on a prime Google sponsorship. And predictably, the Suicide Forest incident was hardly the first and totally not the last scandal that Mr. Paul got himself into. He would actually go on to be accused of animal cruelty in videos where he performed CPR on a fish and tasering dead rats. Which, that's not animal cruelty, dead rats can't feel anything, but it's still weird. And this was 2 months after that Sea of Trees video. And he also would unveil a stunt where he would go gay for a month. Yippee. What? Good for him, I guess. Was he really going gay, or was that a joke? I don't actually want to know. In 2021, Logan Paul got into that NFT thing, intending to launch a game called Crypto Zoo, in which the player would run a sort of zoo where cryptocurrency was king. This eventually led to a class action lawsuit over fraud because the game worked about as well as you'd expect it to. But even if YouTube pulled advertising and put a hold on the revenue, which they did, it seemed like Logan Paul would never be canceled, even when cancel culture was at its strongest. The dude is too powerful for, social justice warriors to take him down. I mean, just look at these numbers. Instagram, 27 million followers. YouTube, 24 million. And another 5 million for his podcast Impulsive. 16 million Facebook followers, 6.8 million on X. And when he joined the video game live streaming platform Twitch, he eventually hit 750,000 subscribers there. And again, this was all after, exploiting suicide and depriving a fish from air, albeit this was before he was accused of trying to kill his dog by pushing it near a boat motor. I didn't know about that one. But yeah, you still can't cancel this motherfucker. So there he went, with endorsement deals and ad campaigns from Pepsi, Hanes, and Dunkin' Donuts, and HBO, and Nike. He even found Prime Energy drink and a Lunchables knockoff. He once said, "I'm at the point where no matter what, brands are still gonna come to me." And that was in 2015, and yeah, he was right. This still holds true. So yeah, love him or hate him, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to succeed in this business of whatever the this business is. So you're probably thinking, what the F is wrong with this guy? And yeah, that F, it stands for f***. And yeah, I don't know if this is an excuse or not or whatever, but it turns out that Logan Paul has a brain injury, in which his doctor says affects his ability to empathize and learn from his mistakes. So he basically has a doctor's note that says that he has a medical condition that's gonna let him do whatever the f*** he wants, which in a way, if you try really, really hard, may allow him to free himself as an artist. He doesn't have to worry about things like, hurting people's feelings. He just worries about success. Speaking of brain injuries, Logan Paul entered the world of boxing in 2018. First hitting the amateur circuit, doing smaller fights and fighting fellow YouTube people. It just seemed like another one of his gimmicks, but actually, the dude was serious about becoming an athlete. He would have a pay-per-view boxing fight with nearly 1.8 million buys. But the big money would come in June 2021, when Paul squared off against none other than Floyd Mayweather, with the winner receiving bragging rights, although there was no official winner. Just the fact that Paul could last long enough against an undefeated icon was a hell of a feat. He's basically YouTube's Rocky.
Before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the Store tab on any of our JoBlo channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some.
Also in the world of sports entertainment at least, Logan Paul signed a contract in 2022 with the WWE after making his debut as a non-wrestler the year prior at WrestleMania 37. At 2023's Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia, Logan Paul beat Rey Mysterio, a legend in the world of pro wrestling, mind you, going on to hold the title for more than 270 days, one of the longest reigns that put him in the company of Ric Flair. He would sure enough rank as one of the best active pro wrestlers by both Pro Wrestling Illustrated and ESPN. Just this year, he was in the final 3 at the Royal Rumble event. And I'm gonna be honest here, I'm not the biggest pro wrestling fan, but I do respect it. And I've only seen some clips, but boy howdy, can this young man fly through the air. Watching this dude perform in the ring, it's a beautiful thing. Seriously. But yeah, Paul, he just keeps evolving and expanding and doing just about anything he feels. He's a rebel. He's a pioneer. He's the leader of Generation Z, if that means anything. Oh yeah, and he has a brother who's really famous too, so that helps. And when those two finally fight each other, it is going to be monumental if you give a crap about things that don't matter. Hey, look at this. I found another interesting quote from Logan Paul. I'm gonna read it right now.
I want to be the biggest entertainer in the world. That's my deal. I'll do whatever it takes to get to that. Whatever it takes.
And yeah, the dude does whatever it takes. Whether that involves taking swings at one of boxing's fiercest men, or filming dead bodies in Japan, it all seems to be working for the guy. And yeah, his podcast is pretty good. He knows how to talk good to people. And as much as you haters out there want to see somebody, knock his head off in the ring or pin him or whatever they do in those rings, even if that happened, even if they took Logan Paul down, the dude won't stay down. And you gotta respect that. RESPECT. So nobody should give a f***ing fuck about what the f***ing fuck happened to Logan Paul because he's doing f***ing just fine.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.